Welcome, wrestling fans. Episode 29 of AEZ Live here tonight, AEZ Canada, and it's great to be back. And we got a full house tonight, which is awesome. We got some old favorites, some originals, some OGs in the house tonight, which is great. It's going to go around for tonight. We're going to do something a little bit different. So usually instead of doing any reviews, we're actually going to do some predictions for the AEW Revolution pay-per-view, which is happening on Sunday night. And then we're going to have a little story time with Amer. And we've got our friend Dusty back, an OG. He's going to give a little bit of feedback from his experience and his family's experience on the Jericho cruise from, I guess, was it just last month, I believe? Was it?
Yeah.
Right. Well, Dusty, I'll start with you. How you doing, sir?
Pretty damn good, bud. Pretty damn good.
Awesome. Good answer. And Tank, another OG back in the house. How you doing, sir?
I've been hanging in there. Everything's going pretty good.
Nice. You got some nice artwork in the background. I like your background. Looks good.
Thank you, brother.
Cool. Adam, back again. How are you doing, sir?
Really good. Excited to see Dusty and Tank again. So I haven't seen that in a while. It's good to see their pretty faces.
Great. Connor, how's your week so far?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. This should be. I'm really excited for Revolution. I'm actually going to be going to Revolution this weekend, so I'm really excited.
Oh man!
So yeah, this should be a fun predictions.
Awesome, Amer, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, Matty. It's going to be an interesting weekend. I'm looking forward to some of this, and looking forward to talking about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, there's no shortage of some really good wrestling over the last couple of weeks. We just saw the WWE Down Under for the pay-per-view Elimination Chamber. I know this is AEW, but I thought that was pretty well done. The funny thing is that if you noticed, I noticed watching, I was like, wow, they are doing a lot of tourism with Perth. They really want everyone to go to Perth. And someone had posted that the show was, 4 hours and only an hour and a half of actual wrestling.
Yep.
So I did find there's a lot of filler on that one. I don't know if you guys thought the same thing, but I thought a little more filler than usual on that one. But as we start, we'll jump right into some of the predictions that are coming up, and we can go around the horn and see what everyone thinks. And Adam, which match do you want to start with?
So I will actually start with what I believe will probably be the first match on the card, which will probably be the tag team match of FTR against Blackpool Combat Club, which I believe will probably be the first match on the card.
And what are your thoughts on that one?
I'm actually excited. It's good to see FTR getting back mixed up in tag team division again. We've seen them a lot doing singles matches recently, especially Dax Hardwood, who's done really well, as I said last week, that he's really good on singles matches. He's kind of got that old school kind of mentality in a match as a singles wrestler. But going against Blackpool Combat Club, I'm hoping something will come of this match, either some respect. I don't know. It just seems like Blackpool Combat Club is kind of lost in a limbo here. They've been feuding with a lot of teams, and I just sense there's no direction where they're going with Blackpool Combat Club other than we still got to keep these guys on television. But I do see FTR pulling out the win on this one.
Mr. Hartgrave, I think I missed the introductions, and I will say hello and let you have the next go.
Yeah, I'm disappointed that we're not seeing the culmination of what we saw. The majority of the build of Blackpool Combat Club the last couple of months has been with CMLL, which culminated in their own event. But we spent so much time with them on TV. I felt like that was headed towards the pay-per-view, but then we've thrown in FTR. Now, the good news is that FTR versus the Blackpool Combat Club is an awesome match. We saw that timeout on TV, so I'm really looking forward to the rematch on that. But I agree with you that the Blackpool Combat Club has really felt adrift and it's directionless. And I'm assuming that they're going to take the loss here because it doesn't make it. I don't know why they would win. I guess are they going to go challenge the Young Bucks? I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just don't see the direction in that. You probably want to keep FTR as your top guys.
I see what you did there.
I hear you. Dusty, what are your thoughts, and who's going to pull out the win on this one?
You know, you say that the Blackpool Combat Club is pretty adrift right now, and I agree. I think they've been getting their camera time, and that's really all that's owed. But if anyone's been pretty drifty, Dax and Cash have really been out to lunch. There hasn't been anything storyline to sink their teeth into, so it's kind of a good match. We're going to get a banger. We're going to enjoy it. But where is the legs to it? I don't know. If anyone should win, I would like it to be FTR because I just feel like FTR versus Christian and Edge as heels at Wembley is my far out prediction, and I want to get there.
Ooh, very good.
I like that a lot.
Interesting. That's an interesting take. Connor, how do you feel about this match, and who are you going with for the win?
So for me, I'm going FTR. Blackpool Combat Club pretty much has dominated pretty much everyone. CMLL, they dominated those guys. They the match at this past Dynamite was really, really good against FTR. I really like how that match went. It was the match of the night for me. And I like how after the match they followed up with it with an FTR promo with their backstage spill thing. I think this match is going to be a really good pay-per-view match. I'm curious to see what they do after Revolution with these two teams. I think FTR should win as they've been in more consistent stories. Like they just got out of the House of Black and Garcia thing, which was pretty good. It elevated out Garcia, who is going to be going for a singles title on this pay-per-view. But I agree with Dusty. FTR versus Edge and Christian would be really, really, really good at an event like Wembley all in. But I think this match will probably be one of the best matches of the night. Like if they can top what they did on Wednesday, then this could be the match of the night on the pay-per-view. But I'm going for FTR to win this match.
Nice. Amer, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, my thoughts on this one are pretty much the same as what others are saying. It is going to be a great match, but, historically, hate to be that guy, but I always end up being that guy. I think it's just going to be, a great banger match for a great banger match's sake. As others have pointed out, FTR have had so much start and stop with House of Black and Blackpool Combat Club with, the CMLL thing. Like, I noted that too, and I'm just like, okay, we're hoping this is going to go somewhere on the other side. I don't know. I suspect not. But it'll be a good match. I think FTR comes out of it, and then we'll see what happens. I hadn't considered the FTR versus Edge and Christian at Wembley. That is interesting. And that would be something to look forward to, I think.
Tank, what are you thinking on this one?
So first, I got to start by asking a question, because did anybody else hear anything along the same lines? A little while ago, there was a report about Cash specifically, and he got into some trouble with the law before they were going to go to Wembley or England, wherever they ended up going, a little while ago there. And one of the charges was brandishing a firearm.
Yep.
So does anybody know if there's anything in the foreseeable future they're going to have him off the air? Because if so, then I would probably see them trying to do something to get him off the air in the relatively near future. And this might be a spot to do that. But if that's down the line, then maybe they do win and continue to go forward. But I do like the idea of Blackpool keeping strong and going forward, regardless.
Dusty, you were shaking your head. Did you hear anything?
Yeah, last I saw, it's a nothing burger. I mean, it goes to license to carry per state, so it'll be a nothing burger. It'll get thrown out. It'll just be a slap on the wrist. That's what I read in the Twitterverse, and if you read it on X, you know it's true, right?
The internet
For
does
them,
not
I
lie.
hope so, because what I heard is he pulled it on a cop, and that's some pretty serious stuff. It's not just he had a
Wow.
gun and he showed it. He pulled it on an actual cop. But again, conflicting reports, who knows what the actual truth is? Usually somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, people don't usually survive too long when they pull a gun on a cop. So, yeah, I didn't
I would
hear
say that depends on many, many, many factors, but let's not go there.
But I think it's going to be a banger match. Obviously, just like you guys are saying, I think there's going to be some really good spots. I think FTR could really will benefit more from this win because I mean Moxley, he wins everything, so I don't mind if he takes a loss once in a while, and it's in a tag match, so if he loses, it's not going to jeopardize his singles numbers. I think it'll set up for FTR versus the Young Bucks for the titles at Wembley. That's what I'm thinking. That's a possibility. But I would love to see an Edge and Christian in this form of characters. My God, I think it'd be awesome. But so yeah, let's watch out for that one. Yep.
If I can jump in on you, I've been thinking about it for a while, and I'm looking at where Edge is. And if he just turned tail and stuck his tail between his legs and went to Christian and said, "You were right. You were right all along. It's you. You are right." And then he joins and just plays into the character. It's an easy transition for Copeland to pull off. And I'm like, it would do so much justice for him, getting him to go heel, and the two of them poking at people. It reeks of awesomeness. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be a great, the Patriarch. That'd be awesome.
Mhm.
So head on to our next match. Adam, you want to set us up?
Yeah, I'm just going to go down how they have it here and just go top to bottom. But
Sure.
I believe the next match on the card might be that Wardlow, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Lance Archer Meat Madness match. I'm a big fan, as everybody Connor knows, I'm a big fan of big guy wrestling. I've mentioned that to a couple of our guests that have been on here. Eric Redbeard, I mentioned it to O'Shea when he was on here, that I love it. Yeah, those are some of my favorite stuff. Which side note, the Earthquake episode of Dark Side of the Ring is premiering next Tuesday, so make sure you guys catch it. It's going to be awesome. But for me, this is a setup for Wardlow. I mean, you have to get the guy on a winning streak, don't you? I mean, he's somewhere lost right now. After that promo he had on Dynamite saying, I don't get respected, that I'm getting overlooked at this place, cutting that promo, that heel promo saying, I'm just going to destroy everybody. I don't care who you are. It's almost like a setup that Wardlow needs to beat the two biggest guys in front of him. And we've seen this Wardlow Powerhouse Hobbs dynamic at Face of the Revolution ladder match a couple of years ago. I think it was last year or the year before. And so, I mean, they've crossed paths before, and I think Lance Archer has wrestled both these guys in singles. I can't remember. But I feel like this is just a nice way to get Lance Archer on the card, but because we haven't seen much of him, which is nice, we get to see him back on the card a little bit. But yeah, no, I see this as a push for Wardlow just to go over two more big guys.
Nice. So you're going with Wardlow for the win?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Hargrave, what do you think of the meat match?
I am not the biggest fan of big guy wrestling, but I am a big fan of these big guys. And I usually like to take the outside prediction, but even I cannot believe that Lance Archer is going to walk away with this one. It's going to be Wardlow all the way. He's got to get the win. It's obvious for me.
All right. We got two for Wardlow. Dusty, what do you think?
I think it's pretty predictable when they slide in a question mark person and it gets announced as Lance Archer. He's taking the fall. Hell of a guy. He was awesome on the cruise. We'll get to him there. But it makes sense. There's no reason not to push Wardlow to the moon. His promo work was very strong. He made a lot of good points. He is the best in the world. He's better than you, and you know it. I think it's time. I think Wardlow gets that reposition to where he was, a year ago.
All right. Connor, your thoughts on this one?
I'm a really big fan of this match. I've wanted to see Lance Archer use a lot more. He's beaten John Moxley in AEW, believe it or not. Like, not many people have beaten John Moxley in singles, and Lance Archer's beaten Moxley. But Wardlow and Hobbs have history. They went against each other a few times one-on-one maybe. They've been in triple threats. They've been in ladders. There's history there. Wardlow is going to take the whip. He obviously should win this match. I think he is going to win this match. After that promo, it doesn't make sense for him not to win. Like, what was the sense for that good promo? Like, that was a really, really good promo. The best promo he's probably cut in his entire career.
I agree. So you're going with Siren.
Hey, Siren.
There she is. Welcome. We're just going around the horn. So, Connor, are you going with Wardlow for the win as well for this?
Yes, I am going for Wardlow. Even though I'd like to see Lance Archer get some wins eventually, I'm going Wardlow for this one.
Nice. Aimer.
Yes. I don't think we even need to bother asking Siren, but yeah, anyway. I'm kidding. Yeah, I mean, it can't disagree. It does not make sense for this to be anything other than Wardlow looking really, really good coming out of this match. I hope Hobbs doesn't look bad. That's all I can say. I don't really see the point of it otherwise. And I don't know, when I first heard it was Meat Madness, I'm thinking, okay, so they're going to bring back Sean Stasiak to be the special ref, or I don't know.
Nice.
That was
nice.
Reference. Nice reference. Tank, who are you going with?
So there's part of me that always wants to be a contrarian and wants to pick somebody else just for the sake of picking somebody else. But I can't either on this one, man. I think it's Wardlow's world, and I think it's his for the taking. They're going to build up the entire, what are they called? The United Undisputed Kingdom, and I think he's just going to build momentum coming out of this one, like everybody's talking about.
All right. Siren, we're on the meat match. What are your predictions? Who's taking now? Who's taking this home?
Nobody did actually say Lance Archer, right? That's what Connor wanted.
We all want to. We all want it.
You know what? Then I'm gonna. That doesn't matter. Then I'm gonna say it. Then I'm gonna go with Lance Archer. Murder Hawk. Everybody dies. Everybody dies.
What is the Murder Hawk?
Who knows? Who cares? It's provocative. It fires the people up.
Gives the people what they want.
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree. I think Wardlow's gonna get this, but you know, I thought maybe because Hobbs had that win, a big win this past week on Dynamite, that he's going to take the fall, or he won't win this one. Lance Archer, I don't understand. As soon as he get a bit of a push, you get excited because he's a massive guy. Like, I really think he should be destroying way more guys. I don't understand the bookings with him, and throwing him into a match like this. He should be in way more of a storyline. But I'm going to agree with you guys. I can't see it not being Wardlow, and I will agree, Connor. I think that was the best promo that he's ever done, and he needed to do that promo. That he needed, because I know we were giving him some slack last week about, you know, we kind of brought up, or I brought up, like, okay, I'm over the squash matches. So if people are saying enough with the squash matches, if he can win this meat match and beat two of the biggest guys in the company, then that's a pretty big win. So I agree with you guys. And with that, Adam.
Yeah, hats off to whoever came up with the name of the match called Meat Madness. It's so kind of a play, I think, on March Madness. So that's why I think it was named, because, you know, for me, I think the next match on the card will be the TNT title. I think this is where we'll see our first title defended on the card, and I think it will be the TNT title with Christian Cage defending against Daniel Garcia. I'm actually excited for this match. I have been a big fan of Daniel Garcia since his performance during the Continental Classic tournament. I really think he stepped into his own when he broke away from 2.0 and the Jericho Appreciation Society, and kind of just moved away from it. But I do feel this is just another win for Christian Cage. As much as I'm really hoping Daniel Garcia pulls the upset here, you know, because kind of predict that maybe Adam Copeland Edge comes out, kind of distracts the family, and Christian gets distracted, and Daniel Garcia takes advantage and wins the title. I just don't know because I don't know with this booking. And with me, I feel Christian Cage is going to win, but in my heart, I would love to see Daniel Garcia win.
All right, Mr. Hargrave.
I am going with my heart 100%. Daniel Garcia is going to take it. Christian has not been on TV as much on either show. It's going to the background, and maybe his stable is going to be focused on more going forward. But I really think we need to put the spotlight on Daniel Garcia. We've been doing so much work with him, and if he loses here, it's going to be absolutely devastating. So even though I do believe that you might be right and that Christian might be undefeatable because of something to do with Edge, because it is really odd how Edge is injured, seems to be kayfabe injured. That's really suspicious. But I really want to see Daniel win it.
Nice. Dusty, jump in.
What a hell of a promo on Dynamite. Both of them. Garcia came in very strong with, we said, Wardlow's best promo, but I mean, Garcia's hitting a stride. Loved him since he was doing ESW, coming up to Smash. We always had his back. When he got in the accident, we were like devastated. The whole crew of them have been amazing on this circuit in our area. So when he got signed, I was like, okay, it's going to be a couple years, but it was like instant. And I think Bryan Danielson can be thanked for that. So I really, truly believe that with all the other moving parts, somehow he can cheat out a win. And I got to be honest, get the friggin' title off of Christian. He doesn't need it. He still has more stuff working with things. I say give it to Garcia, so that's where I'm standing. Dance, Danny, dance.
Connor, who's taking this one?
Bless you.
For me, I'm going Christian Cage. I think that we were talking about this on our live reactions. Because at the last pay-per-view, Adam Copeland won and lost it. Is Edge really injured? Was the plan all along for a triple threat, but they changed it because he really got injured? Or is it just a kayfabe injury and they're going to play something in with this? It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. I think the finish is going to be Daniel Garcia is going to win the match, but he's not going to win the championship. I feel like Christian Cage should keep the title a little longer because I feel like if Daniel Garcia wins, the title goes back to the mid-level. Really, the TNT Championship can be a main title on a show with Christian Cage as champion. He's the promo skills, the character. But if Daniel Garcia won, I wouldn't be mad because Daniel Garcia has really the Continental Classic to the feud of House of Black to what he just did on Dynamite. But I'm going to go with Christian Cage, but Daniel Garcia wins the match.
Nice.
Don't forget his work. Don't forget his work as pure champion too through Ring of Honor.
Yeah, he was the Ring of Honor pure champion.
So,
And a great.
I'm with you guys. I actually was thinking something along the lines of what Connor was saying. I would like Daniel Garcia to win. I don't think he will. Just, again, going historically based on the way that AEW books. Edge versus Great Edge. I will call him Edge because I have that privilege. I met him when he was Edge. Adam Copeland and Christian, okay, that doesn't need a title. I think everybody here kind of sees that, and some of us have said that. But I just think that the way that AEW books, if we're predicting what's going to happen, Christian walks out with that title. I don't see it happening any other way. Will we see Adam Copeland? Maybe we will, interfering in the match somehow, and maybe that's what costs Garcia the title. I don't know. I would also love for Garcia to see it. I think it would be smart because even today I saw him talking about his contract. Oh, well, we'll deal with that when the time comes. And, having a championship might mean that he might be more inclined to stay. So I think it would be smart to give it to him. I don't think Tony Khan thinks that way. I think he just wants to make sure he keeps Daniel Garcia as a friend. And I don't think that will be enough. But I guess we'll have to see.
Great. Hank, are you going Christian or Garcia?
First off, I'd like to say, does Christian have alien hands? Because like that hand when he holds that strap looks like it can wrap around it like 4 or 5 times. I don't know if that's just me, but
He
that's
does.
huge.
I remember when I met him. His hands are deceptively large. When I did meet him some 25 years ago, and the other guy who, apropos of now something that we'll talk about later, Ric Flair's hands are positively gigantic.
You know what they say about guys with big
They are. They're huge. Anyway.
You know what they say about guys with big hands, big legs.
Yes, I do.
Getting back to the match.
Yeah.
So basically, what would be hilarious if Edge does come and turn, he should come down with Daniel Garcia's mom, and then so he joins the fray as well. And then Daniel will have to eventually join the dark side as well if they can play it out for a couple weeks, even though he just did turn face. But what I do think they will do is I think they're going to give Garcia the strong match, have him lose out in the end, but like have the moral victory of I stood up to him and blah, 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 blah.
Nice. Siren.
That old chestnut.
Okay.
I see that.
Siren.
I hope that it's Garcia. And the reason for that is because I think that this would be like the last time. Like I know I said it a whole bunch of times. I'm sounding really dramatic at this point. But they've like tried to get me to love him so many times, and it finally worked. Okay, but like I'm getting tired of you guys getting him there and getting him to that spot, and then just like walling him off and having it stop. And I'm like. So, like, right now, I'm like, yeah, go, Garcia, go. But if they, like, wall it off again and it goes, like, Jericho Appreciation Society again, and I'm like, I don't, then I don't know. But, like, I really, really hope that they give it to him because I just don't know how else I'm supposed to stay behind this man. And I want to be behind him or, another. But, yeah. Like.
No, it's great. My prediction, I think Christian's going to walk away with this one. And I actually think Christian's going to hold this title until Wembley. I think he's going to hold it. I think you're going to see it's going to be some madness in here on both sides. I think we're going to see Cool Hand and Daddy Magic jump in. They're going to help. I think there's going to be some chaos. I think there's going to be some really good spots. I do think Christian's going to walk away with this one. Do I think it's going to be a fair win? No. I think Garcia is going to come so close that it's going to drive people crazy. But I think it's going to be one of these matches that even though Christian wins, Daniel Garcia still wins because he still puts on a great match and he's still people are going to get behind him even more because he was wrong again. Right. So, and I don't think Copeland's coming back for this. I think that they're going to keep him for maybe the next few weeks, but I don't think they're going to bring him back right away. So with that one, Adam, you want to take us to the next match on the card?
Yeah, this match was kind of thrown together by the man himself, Mr. Don Callis. This is Will Ospreay against Konosuke Takeshita. And I'm actually excited for this. I honestly think this is going to be the match of the night, just based on these guys' histories. I mean, they're both power-hitting wrestlers. I mean, obviously, we saw what they both can do in New Japan. I mean, this is just a match made in heaven that didn't need to be made. But they needed that spot on that card to say, we need a matchup that's going to steal the show, but not too much, but want it to happen. We need to give Will Ospreay a big match for his next AEW pay-per-view that he's officially signed to our contract. But we got to give him a good opponent. And I think this is what it is. And I think this kind of pushes a little bit more of the interior fighting of the Don Callis family, where Ospreay may be part of it, but at this point, maybe he doesn't want to be in part of the family and just does his own thing. And this is where you put Will Ospreay as a face in AEW. And I do see Ospreay winning this one. He ain't going to lose. I don't think he's going to lose his first pay-per-view being fully signed to AEW. So I do see Ospreay winning this one and maybe some infighting happen with the Don Callis family. But again, I'm not a writer for AEW, so I don't know what the plan is for it. But I do see Will Ospreay winning this one.
You just play one on TV?
Yeah, I just play one on TV.
Mr. Hartgrave, who are you going with?
If you think you've seen someone be dominant in AEW, you haven't seen shit until you see Will Ospreay in AEW, because this boy's going to be dominant for a long fucking time. Ain't nobody beating him. This dude's a big, big fucking star. They signed him away from the WWE. They're going to rub that shit in. This dude's going to be AEW champion. He's going to be AEW everything. He's going to hold all the fucking belts. Will Ospreay all goddamn day. This match is going to be phenomenal. Match of the night.
Agreed. Dusty.
Oh man, Hargrave, you got me hyped. Big Willie style, AEW. Now, Konosuke Takeshita has been absolutely dominating. It's going to be one of those who is the alpha male of the Don Callis family, or is it?
About to find out.
Or is it? Will Ospreay, does he really give a shit? I don't think so. He's that bloke. He does not give a shit. Hargrave, you're talking about history. My God, this guy has already blown the roof off. And if we can just jab at WWE for 2 seconds, Ospreay and Connor, in case you forgot, that little wrestler from Japan, Okada, both coming. And today it's announced WWE got the hottest free agent from New Japan, Tama Tonga. I feel like it's a win all around the damn table. I don't know what they're trying to do with this match. It's going to steal the damn show. It's going to be viral. They're going to destroy the internet with some of the shit they pull off. I think it's going to put the proper eyes on what Takeshita's capable of for storytelling, because that's what Will does. He takes these guys and he's able to bring them to a North American storytelling. He just does it. It's just how he operates. So obviously, like, I don't think I can remember Konosuke's last loss. I was trying to think of it leading in, and I don't remember. So if it's going to be anybody and you go alpha male of the Don Callis, it's Will Ospreay, and I would prefer him go face, but I don't think that's happening because they just spoiled that with Sammy. You're part of the family. You're not part of the family. You're part of the family. We did a painting for you. I don't know. Either way, Will Ospreay wins because no one's touching that guy.
Agreed. Honor. Where are you going?
I'm going Will Ospreay for this one. I agree with Adam. This is the perfect match for him to showcase himself. He's already wrestled in AEW, so this is not his first match in AEW, but his first match signed with AEW. This is the perfect matchup. I think this match could be the match of the night. There's a lot of matches that could be match of the night. This one, most specifically, could. I think Ospreay takes the win. I think this match is going to go at least 30 minutes, back and forth match. I think Ospreay, personally, I think he's going to be the first AEW Grand Slam champion to hold every single belt.
Yeah,
when it's all said and done.
I'm talking about.
I can just see it. Give it 2029. He would have already won the trios with United Empire. He'd already won the world. He'd have already won the international, taken that all over the world. He'd already done the TNT. But yeah, then this match is gonna be really, really good. As far as Okada, wasn't he that jobber in TNA?
I missed you, Connor. I missed you, brother.
Wasn't he the guy with the blonde hair that he couldn't get over, and then he went to Japan and finally got over?
I hear he likes to wear the Young Bucks clothes.
Yeah.
I
I think this match will be one of the best matches. Like, I'm going to the pay-per-view, and this is one of the most. This is the match I'm most looking forward to, besides Sting and Darby. That match. But I think this match will be really, really good, and Ospreay takes the win.
Great. Aimer.
Ospreay's going to win it. There's no question about that. And just like the FTR BCC match, it's going to be a total banger in every imaginable way. I actually don't have. I don't even know if the Don Callis family thing is going to be an issue or not. And even if it is, I don't really see that it's going to go anywhere. I don't see AEW being interested in telling that story, frankly. And it doesn't matter. Ospreay is going to be a big success in AEW, regardless of how he's booked, because that's how they roll, and that's perfectly fine for that audience. Great.
All right. Tank, you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I'll be really quick about it though. So this is for sure. This is Will Ospreay. He's here full time now. This is his not debut, but debut into the roster full time going forward. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Then there's no way. There's no way he's losing. I thought maybe if he still had some obligations, because I know he contractually had some events here or there. Thought maybe he could eat a loss here and then come back and actually debut. But if this is him going forward, then yeah, for sure. And I can't disagree with anything anybody said. He's awesome. That's it.
Elevate.
Yeah, I agree. Siren?
I'm gonna go with Osprey as well, and I'm bored of the Don Callis family a little bit. It's just because I don't feel like that they've had much to do, and they're rerunning a little bit of stuff. So I'm hoping that this will be there to refresh, and hopefully like pivot and make everything super awesome and awesome again. So.
All right. I'm with you guys. Will, of course. I still think there's going to be a twist. This can't be a match where the Don Callis family, where Don doesn't get involved. Somehow, I think he's going to either turn on somebody. Something's not going to go right. I could actually see him turning on Ospreay, and that would lead him into being, the face turn. Because Will doesn't seem like he really doesn't need the Don Callis family. He doesn't really need Don Callis, right? So I think it'd be a good way, like, again, and I know we've had some mixed reviews. Is he going to be heel or is he going to be babyface? This is a good way to make him a babyface. To get screwed over by Don Callis, and it would bring that excitement that you're saying. It's just something different. There's got to be something. So I just don't see Don sitting back on this one. And I think he's going to get involved. So, but it'd be interesting to see. I love that. I think this is going to be a great match. The same as you guys. This is match of the night. This is a Mania match for me. Like, if this could be for me, if this was going to be at Wembley, I would have no issue with this being at.
I'm signing. I can't really do it, but I'm signing MOY. Match of the year. This match is going to be up for debate for match of the year when it comes down to it. It might be a 5. It might be on Dave Meltzer's 5 stars. I don't freaking know.
It's on your 5-star.
Uncle Dave might give this 5 stars. Who knows?
He's already given it 5 stars.
He's already given it 5 stars.
So wait.
Stars at this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to show some comments real fast.
On to the next one.
King Courtesy for the Greeks, whose house.
Nice. Thanks for everyone in the comments. There you go. Hey, Diggs.
Got some Tank fans. Got some Dusty fans.
There you go. Good stuff. Thanks, guys, for the comments. Adam.
Yeah, I'll move into this one. This will be another titles match. This is going to be Eddie Kingston versus Bryan Danielson for the Continental Crown Championship. And there's a stipulation that if Daniel Bryanson loses, he has to shake Eddie Kingston's hand, almost as similar as to what Jericho and Kingston had at their match, where Jericho couldn't shake the hand. But I do see Daniel Bryanson shaking his hand. I'm going to go with Eddie Kingston. You just put him in winning that title. I think you don't take him off of him too soon. I think Daniel Bryanson's okay not winning a title for his time being in AEW. I think his goal is just to give the product, make the product look good for what he's got going, and obviously who knows when he's going to be completely done with wrestling, with everything going on with him. Let's not forget that also he's got a lot of stuff backstage working, backstage as both a locker room leader and working creative stuff with Tony Khan and everybody back there, and especially QT Marshall coming back. So he's going to be helping a lot backstage as well as soon as his career is done. As much as we don't want to see Bryan Danielson be completely done with wrestling, I mean, there is a time where, hey, you're going to have to step aside, but you could stay with us, work with us backstage, become a producer if you want to. But I am going to go with Eddie Kingston here. I think it's just too soon to take off that that Continental Crown from him. I think you got a little more leverage on him. I think he may hold on to it till the tournament next year, or he may even lose it surprisingly if they can set up a good match with him at Wembley. depending on who they can get to set up against him at Wembley, I think that's where he loses the Continental Crown at.
Mr. Hargrave?
King of the Bums all the way. Eddie Kingston's winning this one. And after Daniel Bryanson takes a loss here, and after Claudio and Moxley take a loss here, I would really like to see Yuta talk shit about the rest of the BCC and leave the unit and then disband and then do more interesting things.
Yuta's still there?
Yuta is the pure champion, dude. He's the only guy who's winning in that faction. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him rub that shit in their face once these guys lose at this pay-per-view.
No.
Dusty, your comments after your sip there.
Well, I mean, I kind of love the idea of the Yuta thing, so I want to go with that. I don't know. It's got to be the King of the Bums. I mean, the world is cold. You better bundle up. So it's got to be Eddie Kingston. He's not done. And I mean, the ultimate handshake, the mega powers feel to it. Let's do it right. Obviously, Jericho had different visions that didn't work the same. But, yeah, no, it's got to be Eddie. You'd be crazy not to keep Eddie on fire. He speaks for a lot of different people, you know?
True. Connor, your thoughts?
For me, this one's one of the tougher ones for me. Some of the matches I can just say who I can really confidently say. This match, one way, I really want to see Bryan Danielson, his name going to the record books as an AEW champion. On the other hand, Eddie Kingston literally just won this title, and he's I don't feel like he's gotten off the ground yet with it. So for me, I'm going to go Eddie Kingston. I really want to see Bryan Danielson win. That doesn't mean he can't win. He could lose at Revolution and still win that belt at some point. But I'm going to go with Eddie Kingston. This should be a really hard-hitting match. But, yeah, I'm going to go Eddie Kingston.
Great. Aimer, who are you going with?
Yep, Eddie Kingston is going to win. Danielson, yeah, would it be nice to see Danielson win the title? Sure, but he'll be able to do that at some point. He's obviously in a position where he can pick any match in the world that he wants, and Tony will go to Japan or Mexico or wherever and get whoever he wants. Now he's at the point where he's just trying to elevate other people and put other people over, which is very, very commendable, right? Nothing wrong with that at all. And I think it would serve, not that other people are not doing it, but it serves everybody in every fed to have people like that. So,
right. Tank, what's your take?
Yeah, you know what? Again, if the belt wasn't there, then I can see them doing something where like Danielson wins and Eddie still like gains his respect and gets his handshake. But I too have to go with the last of the dying breed, the only man that doesn't understand that this is kayfabe. Eddie Kingston all the way.
Thanks. Siren.
No one told him wrestling was fake.
Wait. What are you trying to say?
Yeah, it's so real to me. Come on.
It's all real.
Still real to me, damn it.
Yeah.
Still real to me, damn it.
Siren, who are you going with?
Well, I would be remiss if I did not go with Eddie Kingston. I mean, like, seriously. I'm one of those people who've been, like, an Eddie Kingston fan forever. He's always been getting the chance. It's not like you can literally go back to watch, like, any Eddie Kingston match at pretty much any point in his career, and you're going to hear Eddie. You're going to hear it. And I really, really just hope that they keep the belt on him because I feel like he deserves it. And I think he's awesome. And, yeah, so I'm hoping that it's definitely Kingston. Hey, who's do we know who's commentating Revolution?
I haven't seen anything announced.
I hope it's Nigel.
It better be Nigel.
I hope Nigel's there. That is going to be a solid match. Oh my God, all of the comments. It's going to be so good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But Eddie, I mean, I think we're all going to win if Nigel's there. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's cool.
So my take is I think Eddie's going to win, and you got to remember if Eddie wins, this will be the second win in a row that he's going to beat Daniel Bryan's. Daniel, I still call him Daniel Bryan. So I still think Daniel Bryan's going to be a champion at some point. Maybe like to see the BCC actually get a trios championship, actually, so it look like a real group, or with the handshake, could we see Eddie Kingston actually join the BCC? Because they always like to beat each other up and then say, you know what, you're in. You know what? Like, remember that whole thing? That's how Brian and Mox got together, right? They had to beat the hell out of each other.
That'd
to
be
show
a nice way for them to not look like losers by just
Mm.
fighting the champion in. Yeah.
Good.
And you know
yeah,
what? I love Moxley and Kingston together. They have such a great chemistry for
Yeah.
promos and stuff. They're
We
like the
all like
oddball
that.
that shouldn't work, but for some reason it really does. Like, so yeah, I would be down with that too.
Peanut butter and
because you
jelly
guys were
man,
saying it's
sure.
like, right? So you guys kind of mentioned like, what's missing from the BCC. I think this would give it that spark that, as a group, as a faction again, that it really needs. So that's what I think. But yeah, I think Eddie's going to win this one. I totally agree. I think it's too soon to take it off of him after going through all that, that tournament. But I think Daniel Bryan will win something at Wembley.
What would Eddie Kingston's cartoon animal be if he was in the BCC?
Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Panda.
It's the first thing that comes to mind. He's a
He is
big,
pretty
burly panda.
Yeah.
Awesome. Adam, who do we have next?
We're gonna move on to our only women's match on this card, and that's the AEW Women's Title, and that's Timeless Toni Storm versus Deonna Purrazzo. My God, this might be the best title defense Toni Storm has in a long time. I'm a huge fan of Deonna Purrazzo. When she debuted on Dynamite in Jersey, I was stoked. I was like, oh my God, the Virtuosa is here. I loved her work in TNA. She was a 3-time Impact Women's Champion over there. She's very good. She's almost on par, I would say, with a Serena Deeb when it comes to the technicality of wrestling. I would say that. And for me, Timeless Toni Storm, we've said it this whole time, the best character work Toni Storm has done in the longest time in her career. Unbelievable. The scene that you saw when they had their matches and they're both passing each other on the ramp, and it's split screen where it's black and white for Toni and regular screen for Deonna. I'm sold on that, and I hope that's almost like what the match is when they do the split camera where it's in the middle of the ring and Toni's on this side in black and white and Deonna's on this side in color. And then even when they show Toni like on her own, need to go to black and white. But I'm going to go with Toni Storm on this one. And here's my reason why. March 13th, Boston, Massachusetts.
Yes.
Mercedes Moné coming to AEW, going to be put on top of that pedestal to take that title from Toni Storm. That is basically what they're planning around it. They're planning on taking that title and giving it to Mercedes Moné. I don't know if it's going to happen at Double or Nothing or Wembley. Don't know when, but we're going to see Timeless Toni Storm against Mercedes Moné at some point for that women's title. So for now, I'm going to say this is going to be a really good women's match, and Timeless Toni Storm holds on to that title.
Nice. Mr. Hartgrave, do you agree, or do you have a different opinion on this one?
No, I fully agree with that. Tony's great. I don't think that, and as great as Deonna is, I don't think she's going to come in here and just take the belt off of Toni. If anyone's going to come into the company and take the belt off the champ, I agree Moné would be the one to do it. Although I don't like thinking about that at all. That doesn't sound like fun. So I don't know. I'm hoping that something else happens in between that. But I do believe that's inevitable. I do believe Moné is going to have that belt. I don't know what else she's going to do in AEW other than run the place. But right now, it's Tony's world, and I'm enjoying that. And I just want to enjoy that for as long as we possibly can. So I'm hoping that she just takes the win here, and we just keep going with this amazing gimmick.
All right. Dusty.
Okay, perfect. I got to be honest. I said it on this damn pod a while back. I could smell everything Toni was doing because I've been gone a little bit. On the cruise, I got confirmation. I stated that Toni Storm's character is being written by somebody. And it is confirmed. RJ City's behind everything she's doing. I asked him right flat out, and he went, No, I'm a purveyor of ideas, and then she takes them.
Oh, it had his fingerprints all over it from day one.
All over.
He was seeding it on AEW, for God's sake.
Yes. So
he's like, would any of you want to do like an old timey kind of gimmick?
So he dropped that babyface gimmick where he was gonna be the Tony Storm, and he did 2 trailers. And as soon as I saw it, and it was Whatever Happened to Babyface, and that's Tony Storm. That's timeless. So I knew he was involved, and I got confirmation from Santino. I got confirmation from George, and he played off that he's not involved, but wink, wink, he's writing it all. I don't think you put Mercedes in that picture yet. There's going to be time for it. But when Mercedes Moné shows up, there's only one person I want to see in the ring, and I want the rematch with Saraya.
Yeah.
Broken neck on a pole match. Let's go.
Oh!
So if I'm reeling it back, I love Virtuosa. Met Virtuosa like 6 years ago with my daughter. I'm going to say she was 4 years old. On the cruise, I brought the same picture over to her, and she was in shock. It was up at Destiny in Mississauga. And they took a picture again, and it was just that encapsulating moment of a child seeing a star 5 years down the road, where us old people, 5 years is nothing. To them, it's their entire life. So that was amazing. So I want to see Virtuosa go somewhere, and you ain't taking the title from Timeless for a long time. So stays with Tony.
Nice. Connor, over to you.
This feud has been one of the best feuds I've enjoyed in the women's division in a long time. The last pay-per-view, we got Tony Storm and Riho. No story whatsoever. But this match, this is one of the best stories since maybe, I don't know, Britt Baker and Ruby Soho, or a story that's gotten the mic time, the not like lots of women's stories in AEW. They'll just get backstage promo. They may get a video package, but this feud has been given mic time on the stage, in-ring matches, backstage promos, commentary work. And I like how they showed the matching tattoos in that one segment they did on the stage. That they've been friends for years. And I think they're going to put on a really, really good match on the pay-per-view. Even if this is the only women's match, they're going to make it stand out probably some better than some of the men's matches. I think Tony does win. And Hargrave said he wants something to happen before March 13th to now. I think we'll get a returning Jamie Hayter at Revolution. She's supposed to be cleared by Revolution, so a better way to have her come back at Revolution. Maybe Tony wins, and remember, the person that beat her for it was Tony Storm. So her coming back to reclaim the title that she never really lost. She did lose, but she was simply injured. It wasn't really a match. So I think this might be a really good match. I've really enjoyed the story between Tony and Deonna. I hope Deonna, they continue to use her even after this feud. I hope she gets some. I like to see her and Julia Hart, or there's a lot of women she could work with that she's never worked with before. But I think Tony wins, and we get a returning Jamie Hayter confronting Tony Storm.
Nice. Aimer, where do you sit on this one?
I wanted to say that Deonna is going to win, and they're going to do something with Tony. Boy, would I really like to say that, but I know it's not going to happen. I'm not so. I just took a quick look, Connor. I don't know where you saw that Jamie Hayter is ready to return. It's possible, but I don't see that. In fact, I saw a couple of articles that kind of say the opposite. We'll see. That would be interesting. The thing about it is with Mercedes Moné coming in, I would rather see Deonna win and then have Toni Storm feud with Mercedes Moné to have like a number one contendership. I think that would be sensible story wise, but this is AEW, so I'll leave it at that.
Nice. Okay.
Tony wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, our resident WWE tribalist.
So I am gonna be the only guy going in the other direction. I don't think Tony's ever needed that belt. I think it's fantastic. I think it would solidify Deonna as a superstar for those who aren't as familiar with her as some of the hardcores are. As far as Moné, I like the idea of doing her against Saraya, broken neck on a pole match or not. They can do all kinds of things with Mariah May to interfere with that match to make sure that Tony's still protected. Yeah, I think it's Deonna for this one, in all honesty.
You're insane.
I hope so.
Yes, I am.
Snooki's not there to protect her.
Aaron, who are you going with on this one?
I want to go with Deonna as well, and the only reason for that is because I'm sorry, but listen, and it's because I really hope that if Toni did lose it, that she would also like lose it a little bit more, and I want to see how far she can really take the crazy. I want to see it. I want to see if she can go crazier, because right now she's nutty, but she's not really like dark. You know what I mean? But like, what if she like mixed that and was like nutty dark? I would just, and like with the old school, old timey gimmick, I would just love it. Like, give me some Hitchcock vibes. Like, you know, like I'd really dig that. And I think that, I agree with you, Hank. Get like the Deonna, whatchamacallit, like coming in and like really like this would solidify her. I agree. I think it'd be great. I think she's awesome. And yeah.
I would love that. I'm with you. If she goes in that direction and she's allowed to do that level of character work, I'm all for it.
I would love it.
100%.
Yeah, no, I agree, because you watched that little promo that she did, and she had the lipstick all over.
Oh, she was really on
Betty Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, all for it. 100%.
See, she's almost
and
like
her against Mercedes Moné doing that. Yeah.
I think we are going to get a bit of the craziness.
Yep.
I think she's going to retain the title. I don't see Deonna like taking it at all. When Mercedes comes in, I would rather her get the TNT belt and have that and leave, because I think there's still a lot to go on. I'd love to see Hayter and Toni Storm at Wembley. I'm still going with a triple threat match or a four-way for the women's championship at Wembley. Saraya, I think, is going to be in there. Jamie Hayter will be in there. Maybe Monet. Anyways, I'm going with Toni. It's too early. There's too much. Kind of for me, I feel to have Toni having the belt is like Christian having the TNT title. Like there's just something about them having it that I just don't think that the company's going to take the belts off on that one. Adam, I know we're kind of coming to our hour, but who do we have next?
Yeah, we're going to have Orange Cassidy defending the International Championship against Roderick Strong. This has been built up. I think Roderick takes this one just because it'll make at the very end of the pay-per-view, you need to have at least Undisputed Kingdom look strong, at least a little bit, because you already have Caven and Bennett as your Ring of Honor tag champs. With Roderick taking the international title, now you're just one step closer of getting the world title. And obviously you're going to have Wardlow win in the middle of the night, in the night too, at that Meat Madness match. So now all the guys involved in Undisputed Kingdom are going to have victories or titles around their waist at the end of the night. So obviously you're going to get some interference back and forth between the Kingdom and the Best Friends coming out and all this stuff, and some tomfoolery is going to happen. But obviously, I see Roderick Strong winning the international title. His character, since he went with the neck brace and then losing it, and kind of like more dark demeanor now, I feel like he would do so much wonders with it, with the title and the title defenses and matches he would have in AEW would be great. I've been a big fan of Roderick Strong for a long time. I think he was probably one of the better members of when they were in NXT together. And even before that, I saw him a little bit when he wrestled. I saw some old videos of him in PWG when he wrestled there. He wrestled in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla a little bit. So I've been a fan of his for a while. I love his style. And honestly, I think Orange Cassidy has done enough with that title, being a 2-time champion, that I do believe maybe he needs a break from that title, and maybe it changed, even though some kids love the character of Orange Cassidy, like to see more of a darker side of Orange Cassidy. So I think, seeing Roderick Strong take that title, I think would maybe turn Orange Cassidy a little more aggressiveness and maybe see a character change in him.
Nice. Mr. Hargrave, over to you.
When Roderick Strong wins the belt off of Orange Cassidy, I'm not even going to entertain anything else, because Adam Cole's done very little in AEW, except he made a very bold mission statement about what's going to happen. All that stuff's going to happen. And I'm excited for when Roderick Strong is going to win this title, because then we can do cool stuff. Like you said, he worked with so many of these smaller companies. One of those companies was Ring of Honor. One amazing match in Ring of Honor that I went back and watched recently was Roderick Strong versus Jay Lethal. They did an hour-long Iron Man match. This was maybe 5-10 years ago. Incredible. Love to see that again. Roderick Strong is a crazy workhorse. I want to see more of him. And let's give Orange Cassidy that break that he was supposed to get with Moxley. Kind of flubbed up there a little bit with having to drop the title back to him.
Nice. Dusty.
So with Orange Cassidy, I'm going to keep hitting on the Crews, because they've got to play a lot of house show shit. Back in the WWF days, we know that they would use house shows to play off of new gimmicks and see what they could do. On this cruise, Orange Cassidy and Trent went heel during a match against the Guns. And we're talking Rocky Romero was heel. All three of them in the middle of the match swapped. The crowd was behind it. It was very weird. It was some bizarro land. And watching Orange screaming at Aubrey Edwards and watching him do this cheap little douchebag shit make me say, this is what we need on TV. He could be the biggest prick if he wants to be. Now, I think it's time for that, because, like you said, the kids are all into the gimmick. And I mean, I've got a 7-year-old who thinks Orange Cassidy's the greatest, but I want to see him hate him. I want to hate him. And I think that might be the perfect mode for him. Adam Cole has made a lot of thoughts that he's going to change the world with his crew. This is one of them. It makes sense. All the gold on the team. Yeah, I'm in on it. Let's go.
Oh, good take. Connor.
So I'm going on Roderick Strong 1,000%. I did not like when Orange Cassidy won the belt back. I have seen it. I have seen this movie over and over and over and over and over. I want to see someone else with that international title. I like Orange Cassidy. He really elevated that title. He's probably the best person to ever hold the title. But it is time for someone different. I think Roderick Strong should win it. Have matches against guys like Jay Lethal. Have a really good run. And I'd like to see someone of a different stature. I won't say different stature, but different a different type of wrestler beat Roderick Strong for the international title. Someone like Nakeshita, or someone like Malachi, or someone that fits the international vibe. Maybe even Rouge. Someone who really fits the international thing. But I think Roderick Strong should get a really good run with it. And it makes sense for him to win if you're really wanting to build this faction that took out someone who held the world title for an entire year. But I don't care who takes the title. Well, I do care. If Marina Shafir took it, I am done.
I was waiting.
There it is.
I'm going for Roderick Strong to win this match. This match will be a really good match, and I like the build for it. So Yeah, I'm going with Roderick Strong.
Gotcha. Aimer, who are you going with on this one?
I went into this thinking that I was going to say the usual thing of Orange Cassidy winning because he's Tony's avatar. But now listening to everything that you said, and especially what Dusty said, if Orange Cassidy, I still do believe that Orange Cassidy is TK's avatar, but if Orange wants to go in a different direction, I'm all for it, and this is a perfect time to do it, and this is a perfect way to do it. I'm with you guys. I would like to see that. I hope he's able to pull off that kind of heel persona. It remains to be seen.
I'll be there for the show.
Yeah.
I'm going to guarantee Roderick Strong wins. I don't know what I have to pull. He is winning.
Okay. All right. Well, head down to ringside and help him out if you need to. Sure. I doubt you will because Taven and Bennett will do it first. But
I'll pay the referee off. I'll do
go for
something. And no,
if it's Bryce, he might take the money.
Yeah. If it's Aubrey, then you just need some
money.
whatever. Okay.
Tank, what's your thoughts
Yeah, man,
on this
I
one?
also think it's Roddy. I still must be a 7-year-old kid because I absolutely love Orange. But yeah, I agree with everything that's being said. I'm fully behind him. I really believe that he can do more than he's showing on television. He's one of the best baby faces in distress that I've seen like in forever. I would love to see what he can do on the other side of that coin. To Connor's point, what they always did what I thought they were going to do with the international titles, actually use it as an international title, and maybe even bring it to like indies, bring it overseas, do like cam footage, send somebody like Cutler over and have them defend it. So then they're also off of television for a little bit. So when they do lose the belt and come back, they can be somewhat refreshed. I think, and plus there's too many belts on AEW. We all know that anyway. So it'd also be a way to alleviate that a little bit. But yeah, I think it's End of Heartache. I think the backbreaker of the Messiah takes her home.
I want to
Dusty.
jump in on you, Tank.
Yes, you do.
Now, international title, we assume that they'd be traveling with the title promoting AEW. Rev Pro just had a show. I'm actually watching Oku versus Will Ospreay in the background. Orange Cassidy opened the show. Now, I didn't check to see if it was for the title. He had a decent match. I think it was.
Oh, it was. Yeah, he defended against 6 people. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
like it was like an 8-man battle or so. It was like 7 people. It was like him
It
and
was,
6 other
and I
people.
think they did it with Pac back in the day too. When Pac originally won it, I'm pretty sure they showed some footage with him over in England with it as well. And that's where I kind of thought, oh, okay, this can be something that'll set this title aside from all the other titles.
Mm-hmm.
And then they made it the curtain jerker spot, and Cassidy had a 20-minute showcase every week. And
Yes.
kind of like again, what Connor's referring to got us a little bit tired of that gimmick. But I even love the gimmick, man. I'm a total mark. I think I've mentioned the Kenny Johnson documentaries before. Go watch the Orange Cassidy one, man. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Orange Cassidy also did defend the belt. New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong. It was a few months ago, but it was against who's the guy named Kidd in Japan? Gabe Kidd? Is that his name?
Oh, he's awesome. I love Gabe.
He defended against him, but I get what you're saying. I like it being defended everywhere. I like that.
It's Siren. What are your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Roderick as well. And I've been saying this on this podcast forever. Blood Orange for the win. The heel turn would be phenomenal. We've seen it in him before. We've seen that aggression and coming from him. And he's just like so amazing when he's just on fire like that. And I really think that it's time that we get to see that a little bit more. And as much as I love the Canadian tuxedo orange, denim also comes in black. Okay?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. That's a t-shirt I'm buying. At least a micro brawler.
That would just be a great promo. Yeah, it's black now.
Yeah, right? Like, I mean, come on, you know?
Yeah, so I'm a heel, and it's black now.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm wearing black jeans.
You can
I
now
think,
do full-on kicks and then end with little kicks.
I think they're going to start the show with this one.
They could.
Because again, they love starting with Orange. Roderick, for me, Roderick's taking this one. I'm hoping that maybe Orange takes a bit of a break, like you guys mentioned, and then comes back. And I would love a heel. I would love a heel. I want to hate him because he's a heel, not because I'm bored of him and because I can't stand him seeing him all the time, and that's where it's going for me. So I think this is going to be an entertaining match. Again, I have issues or with him. He always puts on a good match. He's a great performer and a great wrestler, so I know this one is going to be, I think, a great match. And Adam.
If they start with one thing about that, Maddie, that's interesting what you said. They may start with that match, but if they do, I don't see Orange Cassidy losing it if they start off with that, because AEW tends to want to have these pay-per-views with like a hot start to kind of get the crowd into it. Mm-hmm. So actually, let's hope they don't start with this match.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna go with that.
Before
I go to the next match, I agree with that. It's just if it's perfectly somewhere in the middle, maybe towards the top where they're about to do the last two matches, like the third to last, I can totally see them doing that. But the next match, I think they'll put on before the main event, and this is crazy to think, but I do not think the AEW World Championship will be the main event. It's going to be this match right here, and it's going to be a triple threat match between Hangman, Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, and Samoa Joe. Now, this one's a toss-up because they've been playing the ankle injury to Hangman Page. And I don't know if they're working that as a story type to make this a singles match between Joe and Swerve, or just going to keep a triple threat. I guess we're going to find out tomorrow night on Dynamite when Hangman Page is going to address it. I don't know if it's where they're going to go with it, but if it stays this way, Hangman is eating the pin, and honestly, if it stays a triple threat, I'd like to see Joe hold on to the belt because he just won at a World's End. Also, he's just a really good leader. I mean, you see some of the stuff. I mean, let's go back to All In last year in Wembley. That match between him and CM Punk was almost in jeopardy until Joe stepped up and said, no, we're going to do this match because there's 80,000 people out there that paid to come see this match between you and I. This is our Ring of Honor days right now, and we're going to go put on a show. Joe is the one that saved that match. That shows the good leadership he has backstage and the respect he has. That's why I wasn't upset that MJF lost it to him at World's End, and it went to a good guy like Joe. So if this is a triple threat match, I see Joe pinning or choking out Hangman Page after Page kind of isolates Swerve like to the outside. I can see like Hangman Page do like the lariat, like the buckshot lariat, knocking Swerve out to the outside, and as soon as he gets back up, Joe just locks him in and chokes him out. If this is a singles match between Swerve and Joe, I wouldn't even be upset if Swerve wins. I'm just saying, because like we said, Hangman and Swerve probably have the best story going against each other right now. And we talked about it before about almost the double turn of where Page is becoming a heel and Swerve's becoming a face. But I honestly think nothing's going to come of this injury angle. I think we keep it a triple threat unless they do change it. But if it stays like this, I do see Joe retaining this title.
Great. Good points. Mr. Hardgrave, your thoughts on the triple threat?
You went and said all this nice stuff about Samoa Joe that I perfectly agree with, and then they're doing this injury angle with Hangman, or whatever they're doing there, whatever's happening there, and I really wanted to go into this thinking that Hangman could win this because I really feel like rooting for him. Hangman's become like my favorite wrestler, which is really weird, but he's really grown on me. I mean, the hardcore match with him and Swerve and drinking the blood. I mean, look, maybe I'm biased. I'm a vampire and whatnot. We drink blood over here, and I just think it's awesome. I assume Joe will win this one, and, for all the reasons that have been stated and will be stated.
Dusty, I'm sure you have a point on this one.
Nah. I mean, in all actuality, the easiest way to say it is Joe's going to win the match because he's deservedly so the leader of the locker room, as our brother said. We know what he did at Wembley. We know the backstage, and show me somebody that's more believable as the champion on the roster. You walk into a bar and he starts hitting on your girl. Anybody on the roster you could swing on. maybe not Hobbs, but Joe. Joe would kick the shit out of anybody, and he's believable as a champion. Let him carry the title. But I don't think Hangman will be taking the pinfall, but more so his mustache.
We're going to make the stash power. He has gotten meaner as that stash has grown. Connor?
Oh, man.
You want to weigh on this?
Yeah. I'm going Samoa Joe in this match. He just won it at World's End. He beat him like nobody could beat MJF. He had the belt for an entire year. The only person to do it was Samoa Joe. And not just because of that, but Samoa Joe deserves a really good world title run. This is possibly his last world title run in his career. And he should have gotten one in WWE. That was a big mistake. I didn't like the way he had some good spots in WWE, but overall they did not book him good. AEW has the opportunity to book him as a world champion, and he's believable as a world champion. So far, I think he's done pretty decent. I like to see him. Personally, I think what they're going to do. I'm still holding you to this, Adam. You said it on the World's End that Joe's going to win this, and then Adam Cole is going to be the one to take it from Joe because it makes sense story-wise because, well, he made a deal with the devil, and the devil's eventually going to want he's going to want a match. So, if this match, I really hope Sting's the main event. I feel like if Swerve wins, it'd be the main event. But I'm really excited for this match, and if Hangman is not in this match, it's going to be very interesting to see Joe and Swerve. I think it's still going to be a good match either way, but I'm going Samoa Joe.
Great. Amer, which way are you
I
thinking?
just saw a post on my social media that Hangman will address his status for the match on Sunday, so he'll be there. I can't see this ending any other way than Joe pinning Paige, with something going on, hopefully to continue the story with Swerve. I can't see anything else falling out of this. I like what Mr. Hargrave suggested. I forget whether it was last week or the week before, about like kind of going up with a full heel slate of Hangman winning and also the Young Bucks winning and then kind of reforming the heel elite. I just don't see this part of it happening at this point. So I'm going with Joe, just playing it straight.
Nice. Tank, are you on with Joe?
No, I'm not. I agree with Mr. Hargraves. I honestly thought Swerve would probably be the best person to come out of it. But like Glex Luger over there explained earlier, I don't think that's what they're hinting at. I think that's what they're going to do. I think we are going to get the double swerve. And the ankle injury, the way that I think that could play out is he enters the match, still has a face, but everybody's kind of questioning it. He rolls his ankle, he gets out of the ring, he's crying on the sidelines the whole time, don't film me, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The other two beat the piss out of each other for the entirety of the match. We find out at the end of the match, nothing's wrong with his ankle. He comes in, does the buckshot lariat, pins Swerve. So we continue on with that. Swerve gets his heat. Joe gets his heat because he never got pinned anyway. And then you can go off in any one direction you want from there on in. So I think that probably would be the best way to play that out. But I honestly believe you can go any way with that one.
I would forgive a lot of bad booking if that happened. I like it.
Good comment. So that's an interesting take, Tank. I like that. Siren.
Thank you.
I hope that Hangman gets beat so hard that he never looks at that AEW World Championship belt and thinks, maybe that's a good idea ever again. Ever again. You step back. Your championship run was a joke. It was the worst championship run in AEW. Your promos were boring, and I just don't ever want to see it around your waist again. At least not at this point. But he is growing on me like a pimple on my bottom. So like I will have to say, yeah, like eventually I could see him going for it again, but not right now. I just don't ever want to see him wearing it right now. Like, there's no. But I mean, I'm gonna go with Joe just because I don't think that I've been saying it for a while now. that I think that by the end of the year, Swerve deserves gold. And at some point, and I mean some point soon, that I do think that he should be the AEW World Champion. I just don't think he's there quite yet. And I really love Joe as champ. He just, there's something about that belt and that suit and those eyes, man. Like, it's just good.
Mm. No, good points as well. And my take, I think Joe's taking this one. I think that he's going to pin or choke out Swerve, which because people aren't going to expect Swerve to get to take the fall. I think we're going to see tables. I think we're going to see some of the cinder blocks being used. I think there's going to be some other weapons. I think this is going to be turned into like some kind of crazy street fight, since all these guys can take it. So I don't think Swerve's going to take the title yet. I think Joe is going to hold on to it for a while, but I think it's going to be a killer match. Yeah, I think Paige is definitely going to be involved, and I think his ankle's going to be fine. But definitely, I'm saying Swerve for the loss on that one. And yep. So I guess Adam, that takes us to what we feel will be the main event.
It will probably be the main event. This is going to be Sting's last match ever. It will be him and Darby Allin defending the AEW World Tag Titles against the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, ladies and gentlemen, the EVPs. Hopefully still wearing those blood-stained suits.
I hope so.
But making sure they look red instead of brown, like they did on Dynam on Rampage.
You can tell like the actual blood.
They look like poop.
It did. The fake blood.
But yeah, no. For this match can go either way for me, because you have so many directions you can go, no matter the outcome. One would be like Connor has been hinting at the last couple of weeks. He wants to see Sting retire as a champ. So maybe Sting pulls out the victory with Darby Allin and he retires as tag champ. For me, as much as a fan of Sting as I am, I don't see that. I'm sorry, Connor. I love you, buddy, but I don't see Sting winning this match, retaining the title, and retiring, because also you look at the devalue of those tag titles if Sting wins and has to retire it, as a champion. But for me, this is a perfect setup for the EVPs to have that massive heel run as tag champs and setting up a story down the line of either, Sting's sons coming in and winning a tournament or something like that. Maybe you have another tag team like, hey, let's throw this out there. Let's run it back. Let's do FTR and the Young Bucks once again. Who knows? Maybe we see I don't know, Undisputed Kingdom versus the Young Bucks. But then again, who knows? But you've got so many tag teams that are out there. Right now, they're putting a lot of emphasis on Top Flight. They're pushing Top Flight pretty well. They're also pushing Private Party a little bit now that they've reunited. So you've got all these young tag teams. Obviously, you can see Top Flight. You got the Hardys still in there and everything like that. So obviously you can go any way with the tag titles if they're put on the EVPs, because now the dynamic of the Jacksons can sit there and be like, who's going to challenge us? We'll decide, and everything like that. So I honestly do believe that the Young Bucks, and not to mention, let's remember, Ric Flair walked into their office last week. We don't know what was discussed, right? So what's Ric Flair's nickname? The dirtiest player in the game. He's going to find a way to screw Sting out of a match. You got to remember that. Yeah. He was Sting's first match. He's going to be the reason for his last match. So I kind of see where they can go with that as well. So I'm going to predict the Young Bucks, the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas, win the tag titles at the pay-per-view.
With the help of Ric Flair?
With the help of Ric Flair.
Nice. I like that take, actually. I like that take. Mr. Hartgrave, how you feel about this one?
I struggle with predicting this. I think this match, by definition, is difficult to predict. I believe they've done a very good job setting this up so that we really don't know what's going to happen. If it's the last match of the night, it's even more difficult to predict, because are we really going to send everybody home devastated with a defeated Sting in the ring and the heel Young Bucks standing proud? how do we move forward with that? Now, I do believe that the Young Bucks are going to have those tag belts in some way, shape, or form at some time. I don't know when. If I just go with what I've seen Tony Khan do, I feel like the vacating the titles and then starting a tournament for those tag belts makes a whole lot of sense. And the Young Bucks could have a lot of fun rigging that tournament or whatnot. But I want to throw this over to Dusty. I like what Dusty's got a weird brain. And I want to know, how do you send people home happy with the Young Bucks crushing Sting and Darby, who are probably the most beloved tag team that AEW's ever had?
Hargrave, I'll take it. You set me up and I'm swinging. All right, so here it is. They have their matches. They get their spots in. Sting does some stupid ass shit that old bastard shouldn't be doing. All of a sudden,
100%.
Darby's getting thrown around. He's tied up. What the hell? All right, and then they get the pin. Doesn't matter how it happens. The EVPs win. They stand over them as they're beaten down. You look over. There's Lex Luger. Jesus, what am I on my comic?
Lex Luger shows up. Oh man,
yeah, he's shaved head and everything. But there's Luger sitting in the corner. They're looking to him. He's sad because he's not getting out of his wheelchair. And then all of a sudden, Darby reaches over to Sting in tears. They look each other in the eyes. Sting hugs him. Everybody looks at him. The confetti blows. He has to go out with a loss because that's the rule of wrestling. You don't walk out on top. That doesn't make any sense for the entire world of wrestling. You have to pass the torch. And the Bucks can do that when it's their time, and Eddie Kingston will do that when it's his time. So that's how it goes down. Everybody's happy because they hug, and off walks Ric Flair, because, I mean, there was no meat on this bone after Adam gave his breakdown.
Connor.
For me, this is not the match a lot of people wanted for Sting's last match. This is not what everybody
Agreed.
So,
quite simply.
So Sting losing his final match to a match not a lot of people wanted would be
damn, what a shame.
It would be underwhelming. 16, like, this event would not have sold as many tickets as it did. It wasn't Sting's last match.
no way. Yeah.
I think even Sting and them winning, it's still putting over Darby because he's a champion right now. He's a younger guy. He's a champion. And them retiring as tag champions kind of sets the tag team division up even more because now they got to crown new tag champions. So a tournament, which the tag team division has been underwhelming for.
Here's one problem though, Connor, and this is a big problem. Tomorrow night's Dynamite is billed as Sting's last Dynamite. When the hell is he going to drop these belts?
They vacate him.
He's off screen. He's never coming back. This is the last time we see Sting, and we're going to vacate his belts off camera.
Retire as a champion.
I don't know, man. That's like a plot hole.
Sounds dirty.
I got a hard time getting over that
because then you have to vacate the titles, and the tag team division has been underwhelming for a long time. So
I thought we were going there, but as soon as we start billing this Dynamite as Sting's final Dynamite, it gets real hard to believe that that's how that's going to happen.
So they vacate titles and they have a tournament, and then they're having tag team matches that actually mean something because we haven't had the tag team division hasn't felt the same in a long time. But I really hope that Lex Luger's there because
I think that was a really good call. If you wait until the end to put Lex Luger on camera, maybe that's enough for us to all just be happy.
That's still not gonna be enough for me. I didn't want to see this match.
I'd be happier if Elizabeth was there. Thanks, Lex.
But I'm going Sting and Darby for this match. I didn't want to see this match to begin with. I would have much rather preferred Sting and Darby versus FTR or Sting and Darby versus Edge and Christian.
This is gonna be AEW's Undertaker retirement, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be sad. Cry man tears.
Really good, really bad.
The streets will flow with man tears this night.
I'm going Sting and Darby.
Nice. Aimer.
I am so torn about this. I can't call it. I was trying to think, and I have been trying to think, kind of in the way that Dusty was going. Like, is there a way that they can lose the title but still have that feel-good moment?
Yeah.
If Luger gets involved, and even if Flair gets involved, Flair's heart grew 2 sizes that day or whatever, and he tries to help Sting, and despite all of that, those damn EVPs find a way to win. But Sting had all these people behind him, and Flair's there, and Luger's there, and all these people are there to give Sting this big last hurrah. I'm leaning in that direction as well. I couldn't put it together. You put it together, you put some meat around it, much better than I had. But I was kind of going in that direction. That's what I see.
Amer, with all those people present, this just smells like a damn good super kick party. If Lex Luger takes a super kick, this entire pay-per-view is my favorite pay-per-view of the year. I don't care what they do at Wembley.
I will not argue that point. Flair is stupid enough to take one too, I think. I fear.
You think?
But, I don't know. I'm going in that direction too. It's a feel-good moment, and I believe I'd like to hear maybe if we have another chance to go around. I know we're already going long, but I know that Sting apparently picked the Bucks, and he said, "I want to have my last match with them." I wonder though whether he's kind of dictating creative or Tony's still kind of dictating creative. I wonder about that. So
they're EVPs.
I don't know. Anyway.
So I'm next up anyway, so I'm going to jump in to correspond to what Amer was just saying. The Young Bucks, for some reason, I don't know why people haven't figured it out yet. They are the best tag team. I don't care what anybody has to say. The reason why Sting chose them is because he knows they're going to get the best match if they do it with the Young Bucks. That is the end of the story. And the EVPs are definitely going to win. One of the major reasons why I got back into wrestling was PWG in the mid 2010s, and it was because of the Bucks. They bring me out of my seat. They make me pop. I'm a spot monkey. Give me Matthew and Nicholas Jackson all damn day. Let's go. Of course they're winning.
God, I missed you, Tank.
That's why you're my tag team partner, brother. Let the fans go home upset. The story's never
Okay, you go left, I'll go right.
What, if the Young Bucks win, I'm not sad. I'm not one of these guys that's going to be crying over Sting. I will be extremely excited that the Young Bucks have won. I'm there for it. And I'll know that Sting was in favor of it. So fuck it. It's all good.
Give Sting 20 minutes to be there in the ring with his friends. It's fine. People go home happy.
Siren. Chime in on this
I've been literally saying this from the moment that they walked out. And I remember actually for like a couple of weeks that I was like real bummed out because nobody liked my idea that the Sting was going to lose. I was like, he's going to get the titles and then he's going to lose them to the Young Bucks. And everybody was like, that's horrible.
I liked it. I didn't like it.
And I was like,
back to 100%.
I was like, oh, well, I mean, I'm also talking about like my community as well. You guys, I talk about like, but like a lot of people were like, nah, man, nah, like that's.
Oh, it's gonna upset a lot of people, and I like that.
Yeah, we call that heat. We call that heat.
Do it.
They'll get over it. They'll get over it real quick.
Yeah. I think Sting is going to do what's best for business, just like Kurt Angle did, just like Ric Flair did. He's going to go out. He's going to lose. The titles will move on because he's still going to stand up. He's still going to get the big ovation, whatever you want to want. He's still going to get it. Still going to, the whole walkout, which is fine. And it still leads up. And I think the Bucks, it's going to be prime time for the Bucks. You're going to see, because of the Bucks being champions, you're going to see more Top Flight. You're going to see Private Party. They're going to take it back to a lot of the high-flying tag matches that were happening at the beginning of AEW before Top Flight got hurt, before Private Party got hurt as well. So I think there's a lot of good stories there that they're going to bring back once they're championship.
I didn't get to finish my point, but I was going to hit something along those lines as well.
But
actually, I want to add on something.
Yeah.
Really, really quickly, imagine the visual of Sting on his knees, Matthew and Nicholas have an arm each, they both do the Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, I love you, and
Oh.
EVP trigger.
Oh my
in the-
I want it.
But they would have to be sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're sorry, we love you. Yeah, that's how it would have to be.
To go off of what
Yes.
to go off of what Dusty was saying about how do you have someone as beloved as Sting lose and still have a good night? Like we've been saying, it's just him, Sting in the ring. Let's just say the Bucks they beat him. They somehow beat him because you guys remember it's a Texas Tornado match. So it's gonna be wild. It's anything going. That's the only way Sting can do in a match is if it's everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the only way he keeps up in a match. It's his pace, So let's say Darby takes the pin in the ring by one of the EVPs. No, I'm serious. Take this, Dusty. Right?
Yeah.
He takes the pin and Sting comes back and realizes they lost because Ric Flair had screwed them. Ric Flair low blows Darby Allin in the ring. Doesn't do it to Sting because obviously they still have that connection regardless, but he does it to Darby and he walks out raising the EVP's hands in the air as Darby and Sting are in the ring. And Darby is like still upset. I lost the match, but Sting still hugs them. People still on their feet. They're cheering. You're still having a good end to the match regardless of the legend Sting losing because people just saw his last match. Like
Now,
it's and that's the thing though. And obviously Ric Flair, is gonna do Ric Flair things again. Like you said, Lex Luger being there would be awesome. Having him hug Sting out in the crowd would be great, and Sting going around the audience doing his thing. Maybe you give Sting 10 more minutes. Maybe you extend the pay-per-view a little bit and let Sting make it do like a speech. That's another way you send people home happy. Even if it's not on the pay-per-view and it's off camera, that's how you send the own crowd happy.
No, I think it will be on camera, and I still say Sting takes the pinfall. If you read the Players Tribune that got released today, it's an amazing little place that athletes can go to write articles, and it's free press for them, and it's a huge response. But Darby actually did one, and he talked about Sting, and he put him over like this was his hero, and usually when you meet your heroes, they fail you, but this one made me proud to meet a hero. So it works. Sting takes the L, but I do see Ric Flair screwing them over, but he's going to be close enough for Lex to hit him, and then he drops. Yeah. I could see that working. Either way, you want to make the crowd cry, you want to make the TV cry, unlace your damn boots.
Mm-hmm.
You can take 30 seconds to take off your boots and leave them in the ring. Not one person in that crowd will be sitting in their seat. The EVPs and Ric Flair are gone. And it's just Darby and Sting. And he's taking off his damn boots. And I'm going to sit there and cry like it's Mark Henry swerving me.
Yeah.
I will not cry when the Young Bucks win, but I will cry when Sting takes off his boots.
Yes.
It depends on that part. I think depends on what Sting wants to do. Sting is going to be in control of that.
Yeah, he's going to pass it.
Yeah. If that's the reaction he wants, then then that's what he'll do.
Yeah, Siren, I think you had a point that you wanted to add.
Nope.
Good. I know we're coming on to like an hour and 40 here. Do you want to still do the story time and stuff, or do you wait that till next week? How's everyone for time?
Yeah, I got to dip everybody.
So how about we
video games after this? So
how about we next week we'll resume Amar's story time.
Sure.
And then we can close with Dusty's Jericho Cruise experience.
Sure. All
sure.
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
Dusty, you want to take a few minutes? Let us know your thoughts on it. Do you have a good time?
So if I'm going to try and run it quick. I'll take some questions throughout. This is my second cruise. First one, very impactful. Got to meet a lot of people in random situations, so I knew what to expect in this one. I came with kids this time. So my son was like adamant he had to meet Ultimo Dragon and Penta. Those were the two people. That's it. And I was cool with that. As for the wrestling on the cruise, Michael Oku, if you don't know his name, Google it. The guy is a god, and he is going to be huge within 2 years. He just had that match this weekend with Will Ospreay. I was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Dude! So the match that I'm talking about was Speedball Mike Bailey versus Michael Oku. I can't tell you how good this match was. You guys have seen Speedball. You know what to expect. High, fast pace, kicks are everywhere. But Oku's drop kicks were legendary. They had this one spot in the match that really made me go wild was Oku was turning around, a chop straight to the back. The crowd turned on Speedball and said, "You're owed one." So then he grabbed the rope and he took a chop in the back. They went and back chopped each other nonstop. It was insane. The big one was Speedball does the moonsault and then lands with the knees. Destroyer. I can't remember the name of it. But what was crazy about the knee drop is Oku blocked it with his knees. So it was direct knees to knees. That thing killed me. The crowd was amazing. Other than that match, the best match of the night was the last night. Jericho likes to have some fun with everybody. So he comes out. It's Speedball Mike Bailey, Jericho, and The Big Show. Immediately, you're like, Big Slow, give it up. No, it was awesome. They were taking on Kyle Fletcher, Hobbs, and Lance Archer. The place blew up when they came out with the Jericho theme song, and Jericho came out with his tight, short trunks. Not something you wanted to see, but the crowd was into it, so you could be all right with it. The match itself was good. There was a little fall apart. And like I told you guys earlier, Orange Cassidy went heel. That made the Guns face. So they won the match. Speedball got the pin. And then all of a sudden, out come the Guns. And they hold up the hands. And then they turned heel and attacked everybody. Then all of a sudden, out comes Santino and the Dudleys. And Brad Williams. And they went and proceeded to do 90s moves constantly. Then Bubba slaps Jericho. Jericho, get the tables. Then he slaps, and they go all the way around back to Aubrey. Aubrey gets to Devon. Devon gets the tables. He rolls out, grabs the table. 3D through the table. Santino with his Cobra. The whole spiel. It was amazing. The whole place was lit. That was the wrestling. The best moments of the cruise for people coming out of the woodwork to be with the fans. Will friggin' Hobbs. So we had this thing where we would go to the buffet every day, and my son Jaden had like fries, hot dog, and pizza like he did every day. Hobbs walks over to the table, grabs a fry, and Mad Dogs looks at him as he eats it. I'm away, so I come back and they're like, Hobbs ate my fries. I go, what the hell? Where's my iPhone? He turns and starts laughing at me, remembering the BTE gimmick. Later on, I see him on the side. I'm like, dude, my boy needs a picture with you. He goes, what boy? This boy? And he proceeds to pick up my son, hold him in the air to take the picture. And then after the picture, he pretends to throw him overboard. Then stops, rubs him on the head, gives him a hug, and sends him off. That was a big moment for me. Jaden's not a huge mark like my other son, but he definitely is a Hobbs fan for life.
For sure.
That's awesome.
So we watched wrestling, and they had an arcade, and my son's been bugging me. We got to go to the arcade. So I'm like, if you earn it, we're going. So here we go. He earned it. We're walking into the arcade. He wants to play the Halo shooter. As we walk up, there's a couple people playing. I look, and I'm like, my God, that's Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So I turned to Jada and I go, do you know who won the first ever Royal Rumble? Because remember, this was Royal Rumble weekend that this cruise took place. Hacksaw puts down the gun, looks over, and he goes, Hacksaw, baby! So that was one of those moments that you get on the cruise where wrestlers are just into it.
Did he blow his nose on you after?
No. But he hit me with a 2x4 when I wasn't looking, so. He did do a comedy spot. I know you're into the comedy, which was amazing. It was just a bunch of really good stories that he shouldn't be telling, and then stories of Andre. So that was kind of cool. All in all, I would, if I didn't have to pay for it, I would go to the cruise every year. The cost alone is like backbreaking, but the experience with the family was huge. My wife really got over with the Taya and Abaddon match. It ended up with John Morrison going into the pool by Abaddon. They got into the middle of the ring and they both had beers. They popped them open. They chugged the first one, and then as they drank the second one, they both smashed each other in the face. And it's so beautiful when beer gets smashed. It just goes everywhere. The music, of course, if you like Fozzy, it was awesome. My son got a security guard, put him in a hot tub roped off area, so he was right front stage. Jericho come over, high five. There wasn't many people we didn't get to meet outside of the meet and greet. So, I mean, like Ultimo Dragon walks up to Levon and he gets his picture. Everything was exactly the way it should have been. We got a one-on-one with Jericho. There were a couple parts that were pretty awesome. Taya and John Morrison made a horror film. I don't know if you're aware. I see the lady's eyes really got big on this. I'm telling you. Okay, just wait. It's called the Iron Sheik Massacre.
Oh, God.
Yes. Oh, God is right.
Where can I watch
my
this?
daughter, it's not anywhere yet, but they're saying they've got a streaming deal coming. So when it hits, I promise you, just watch it. So my 12-year-old is a hardcore horror fan. And when they announced they were doing this movie, that's all she wanted to do. So she went to bed at about 9 o'clock and the showing was at 12 o'clock. So I went and woke her up and said, do you still want to do the movie? Boom, straight up out of the bed and out the door. We get to the theater and my buddy has seats for us. So we sit right close. Right next to me is Orange Cassidy, Rocky Romero, and Trent. They wanted to climb over, so I had to hold up the hand to help Rocky over. They were hilarious. Like sitting next to them to hear their commentary over this movie was awesome. In the movie, you've got like people like Killer Cross, or what's his name, Karrion Cross. So what happens is lightning strikes the house during COVID. They were filming this, and an Iron Sheik comes to life like a Chucky doll and proceeds to kill every member of the household. I think 7 or 8 kills. The John Morrison scene was brilliant. Without giving spoiler, I'll say that what Iron Sheik does to John Morrison, I can't explain it without you guys being disturbed. But here's the funny part. The next day, Lion King is supposed to be on the TV. So we're going to calm the kids down with a cartoon. Or Toy Story, sorry. They get in the room. They sit down all settled. I turn on the TV. It's starting up. Disney, all right, here we go. All of a sudden, it cuts the feed. And on this channel, they proceeded to play Iron Sheik Massacre for the rest of the day. So here's my sons, and all they see is Iron Sheik inside John Morrison's rectum.
Oh, yeah.
Yes!
They go, what was that? I'm like, never mind. I changed the channel. I had to find something else for them to do. I think it was excellent. I loved it. I don't care that they had to be suffering from PTSD on seeing what they saw. It was hilarious. So it was a perfect placement for it to hit right before Toy Story starts rolling out. And I guess you got a friend in me. So
there's a 2-minute trailer on YouTube
If you can, it's. I think it's 27 minutes.
I want to get off. Oh, anyway, sorry.
So that part was amazing. The whole theater standing applause, awesome. The next best thing was RJ City doing an improv show with Harley Cameron, Taya Valkyrie, John Morrison, Santino, and Colt Cabana.
I love Harley.
So Harley's underrated. She's always in character. She's going to be huge. But in this stage, you have RJ City come up with the ideas of what they're going to do. And Santino, of course, the guy is a freaking genius. He's hilarious. AC is one of the funniest people, and nobody doubts it. One of the gimmicks he had to pull off was an emo parrot. So he comes up, and it's basically him and John Morrison are breaking up in a gay relationship. And he looks at him, and he's like, "You don't hug me anymore. Ah, I just wish you would talk to me after work." Ah. The whole theater couldn't breathe. We were laughing so hard. Taya Valkyrie, they did this one gimmick where they were like, my sex life is like wrestling because, and then each person would step up and say why their sex life is like wrestling. Taya Valkyrie came up and said, because I love getting choked out. That became a running theme the entire night.
Same girl.
Yeah. That one I gave a 10 out of 10. I think RJ was brilliant. All in all, the podcast, amazing. The music, amazing. The food, amazing. If you are in a financial state where you can drop too much money and you shouldn't have that type of money, do it. Do it. Because the cruise is always a 10 out of 10. And that's what I have to say about that.
No, that sounds awesome. Thanks, Dusty. I think no, it always looks like fun. I always see the clips. Jericho in his little trunks. He looks funny now because he's an older guy. It looks like he's just like in his underwear, like he shouldn't happen. But yeah, no, it looked great. And they were using the 12x12 and the 16x16 ring. It's a smaller ring, right? That they bring on.
Yes, it was a smaller ring.
It's like the old WCW.
It worked for the Lucha Boys.
Perfect. Well, no, that's awesome. I think that's good. There's Connor coming back. I was wondering where he headed off to, but no, I think that's good. Connor, we're gonna wrap it up. I think this was a great show, almost 2 hours, but we did have lots to talk about. We had a full house tonight. Thanks so much for everybody for joining. Had some great conversations, and we made some really good predictions. So next week we can go through and see who was right and how right we were, and what are we going to see from there. I think that'll give us some clarity on where the road is going to go towards Wembley. So looking forward to that. And with that, we'll say goodnight. Thanks, guys. Thanks for everybody watching. Again, give us a like. Tell all your friends, family to join. Appreciate it. See y'all next week, guys.
Bye.